Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Thank you so much. Leanne, do you have something you want to add? We're just grateful that Annie's here and helping, and Erin and the two PTs that will be joining us.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Annie, and for arranging this for us again. And we just appreciate everything you're doing.
Oh, you're welcome. I just talked to Spencer. She's just clicking the link now. Okay. So hi guys, we're back again here on Friday for telepracticing. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Spencer's texting me. So we have Spencer Young and Lisa Copenhaver on with us today. They are two PTs that work for Best Life that have been doing telepractice now really since the beginning of the school closure. So I thought it might be really nice for some of the PTs to be able to ask them questions and to have PTs who have been doing telepractice now for a month or so, or actually, wow, more than a month now, but to give you guys some tips and some suggestions. So for today, again, I talked to you about Spencer and Lisa, and they're on the call ready to answer any questions. We're going over tips, suggestions, what has been working for Tasha Shriver. She's another OT that works for us. And of all of our OTs, I feel like she's been seeing the most kids consistently for the longest time. So I kind of picked her brain a little bit to get another perspective to see what's been working for her and what she's been doing since all of this started. And then Erin James is back and ready to teach us about boom cards because we could not record boom cards for privacy reasons. So he's going to go over that with you guys today. Okay, so this is Spencer. I had to point to her, so I figured you guys might think that her husband was Spencer. I just couldn't crop her out or her son out. He's so cute. She's a PT for us. She works in Barber County and Tucker County, and she also works in birth to 3. Both of our PTs work in birth to 3, and I told them to kind of incorporate what they've been using there as well, because really it kind of translates to school and birth to 3. And a lot of our kids are very low and might be on the level of a 3-year-old. So some things that Spencer went over with me and tips she gave me, of course, like we've talked about over and over, is pre-planning. Having the exercises and activities ready and in mind prior to your session, and having your family gather them before the session. So any toys, any tools you need, any exercises that you maybe need to kind of send them a little precursor video so they're ready for it. That's been critical for their sessions. And I know Lisa has said that as well. To having a successful session. For Spencer, she said it's been very beneficial to have a second person available to hold the phone, tablet, so that the other person who's working with the child is kind of like your facilitator, but the parent has both hands free to work, and they're not kind of messing with the phone or messing with the camera. And if they don't have another person there, asking them to prop up their device so that you can properly see them before the session. So have that ready to go before they start moving, before they start doing their exercises, and making sure that the camera's pointing in the right direction. So you don't want them to prop it up and then, it's facing the ceiling whenever they're on the floor or, doing an exercise. And of course, we're always asking our parents and caregivers about progress and any new concerns. Checking in from the week before, saying, how did this go? How did this exercise plan go? Do you have any questions? What worked? What didn't work? And kind of figuring out that family's, way of doing things, because there are some things that, some parents may be comfortable with and some may not be. So we need to kind of figure that out with each family of saying, okay, so this parent's very good with the home exercise programs. This parent's much better with me coaching them one-on-one. And paying attention to what's in their home, looking for items they can use to modify your treatments if they don't have what you originally planned for. Or you may see something that you say, oh, they have an exercise ball, or they have this, or they have that. We could really use that. So making sure you're kind of always looking around to see what else you could use. With sustained stretching or time in a stander, she's been using ABC Yeah or some other interactive game or video to distract them while they're interacting with her. And then she has said that she's had very good success with older siblings participating as well. Of course, we all know the monkey see, monkey do. If you need the child that you're working with to do a certain exercise or a certain game or anything, having the older siblings do it has really helped them participate in them with the right form. And she screen shares frequently to show pictures, videos of what she's trying to get them to do, and also using a baby doll to demonstrate techniques for parents. Do we know, has Spencer hopped on yet?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Spencer, do you have anything to add to that?
That was just a basic overview. Just like in-person sessions go, you just never know what's going to happen. So oftentimes I find myself flying by the seat of my pants. And the parents understand, and they're right there with us. This is new to them, and they've got a lot going on as well. So I brainstorm a lot, and I ask for suggestions from the parents, feedback from them. And, I just go with it, go with the flow. And I ultimately make my sessions just by what the parents are into. And a lot of the times I'm not getting a full session with the child that I typically would in person, because virtually it is more difficult and it's harder to get the child to pay attention to you on a screen than it is in person. So I've been having to do shorter sessions, but more sessions to get those minutes met.
Yeah, and Spencer and Lisa, I feel like I've heard a lot from other PTs that, and this goes for OTs as well, that shift from manipulating kids yourself, all those hands-on things we do, shifting from that to being able to adequately coach someone else to do it has been a very big jump for us.
Yeah, definitely. Especially through a camera.
Yes, very much. Okay, thank you, Spencer. Okay, so now I'm going to Lisa Copenhaver. She is a PT that works for us in Pleasants County, and she also works in Ohio, and she also does birth to 3. So some tips from Lisa. Again, she reviews last week. How did it go? What went well? What didn't go well? And she says, the parents are my hands, and I coach them and sometimes demonstrate on a bear or a doll, stuffed animal. I think that was really helpful for parents to have that visual. And also, I think it kind of helps you mentally go through the process of what you're doing. I will say that my coaching skills have really jumped since all of this. And I think it'll help me whenever we get back into brick and mortar schools, whenever we're carrying stuff over or explaining to aides or teachers how to do certain exercises or activities. I feel like I've gotten much better at breaking them down and explaining them in a very easy way, or figuring out how to demonstrate them. I'm sure you guys have too. She gives them a home exercise program every week for carryover and progress, and she will make videos to assist the parents and the child. So again, I feel like from a lot of the therapists I've talked to, videos, pictures, demonstrations on, stuffed animals, dolls, whatever we can get to get a visual for these parents to help with carryover has been very, very helpful. Asking parents, how much help did you give? 25%, 50%. That, of course, that like mid, mod, max assist level. And I think it's kind of hard for parents to understand at first, but I think the more that we do this and the more they get used to the same type of language, the easier it will be for them. Also talking parents through exercises while talking children through exercises while parents are completing them. Lisa, you can, expand on that a little bit after we get through the last slide, but, remembering that they're part of this process too. So if you're coaching a parent through something, also taking consideration the child of, what you need to coach them through. When she does phone consultations, she's sending videos, she's discussing strategies that worked or didn't work and why. And for her children that she's doing packets only, she's sending a month at a time. And the first half of the month, they'll have activities, and then the days 16 through 30 will build off of those activities. So hopefully we've made progress and, gained a little bit in those first 15 days, and 16 through 30 is building off of that. Okay, children with autism coaching and telesessions. Again, coaching parents virtually and sending videos. She uses the MIDA app, and she said this has been very helpful for her, and she's going to explain a little more about that. And some quotes from Lisa that I liked. She said, some parents enable learned helplessness and prevent struggles. This takes away the child's power, teach the parent the importance of the child helping themselves and the fading support. And I've seen this too with a lot of these kids that, we have the helicopter parents that are hovering, fixing everything for them, doing everything for them. If they're struggling with a task, they just do that for them. I think it's been very powerful that we've been in the home saying, no, let them work through that. No, provide 25% assistance instead of 100%, or, just push a little this way and, pull back this way. I think that's been really, really beneficial for parents just as a whole of learning this in their homes, that they really need to let these kids work through a lot of these struggles. And the parents are learning that these activities are tough, but they lead to growth and progress. And she said, this has taught me to be a better coach. The parents are empowered and they're part of their child's success, which I think is one of the greatest things to come out of this whole thing, is that the parents are involved and they're learning how to assist their child and the proper ways to do it. And they're part of the therapy as well. So Lisa, do you have anything to add?
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I guess just with hand placement, when a mom says, I don't know what to do, and I'll say, put your left hand on their left hip. Okay, now push with 25%, and so you're kind of guiding them. And the mom will say, no, she's pushing back into my hand. I'm like, that's okay. Just stay, linger. And then it like clicks for the baby and the mom. And it's so helpful. So That's helped me with the coaching.
Yeah. And I think with the coaching for me as well, remembering that, those are little things that we forget, where if you're stretching or you're assisting in some way and they're saying, oh, they're pulling back really hard, they don't want to do this. Normally for a parent, they say, oh, they're pushing back, stop this. So it's important that we remember that every little thing that goes through our head, you need to be saying out loud. If they're pushing back into your hand, that's okay. Still keep that resistance there, still keep that 25%. If they don't feel any resistance at all, making sure that you always remember that too, as well with the coaching, where the resistance would say, they may resist you, that's okay. Or you may feel nothing and that's okay. If you do, strengthening exercises or something, saying if they squeeze this and it looks really weak, that's okay. That's why we're doing the strengthening.
Definitely. I did want to touch upon the MIDA app, the mental imagery therapy for autism. Right now I have 2 children I see that are autistic. I would say one is severe and one is moderate, and they're challenging for me with the telehealth. We've tried video and that just didn't work. But this MIDA app, it's developed by a neuroscientist to help children with autism. It's reported to be one of the best supported therapies for children with ASD. New games will be automatically selected based on the child's performance. There's a free version out there. The success rate is measured by the number of errors when solving puzzles. And they recommend that if for a child who is older than 4, no more than 1 hour per day, less than 4, 30 minutes, and to lock your screen. And I've seen success.
Okay, good. So that's another tool that we can put in our in the Teams section, and people can use. And I'm after you said this, Lisa, I've been really researching this as well. I'm kind of excited to put it in my practice as well. Thank you, Lisa.
Wonderful. Sure.
Okay. So next Tasha's not on the call, but because she's seeing kids, but Tasha is a OT who works for us full time in the schools. She works a little bit in birth to 3, but of all of our OTs, I feel like she has been the one that's provided the most consistent therapy with the most amount of kids, about like 15 kids. And her school started like almost right after school closed. So she's been doing this for almost a couple months now. So a typical OT session for Tasha, she says she usually has about 3 to 4 activities. First, she does a little fine motor warm up with something that they choose, of course, with her guidance. So, she says you can play with Legos, Play-Doh, this, that, or the other. They can pick that and they can play there for a couple minutes. And then once they, get that little warm up, kind of your like little welcome greeting, then they get a challenge where then she is directing the activities, or she's directing the exercises, or what she wants them to do with that toy. Then they move to more challenging, purposeful fine motor activities, like so she'll do like coins in the Play-Doh, painting with cotton balls and clothespins. Of course, there's like a jillion things you can do, but this is her time to get more of the meaningful activity, fine motor drills that she's guiding. Then she'll transition to some type of handwriting. Obviously, this is all graded depending on, where your kid's at. With her older students, she's working on sentence structure, line orientation, spacing, sizing, etc. And she said she will frequently write sentences that they have to grade and rewrite, or she can use whiteboard or typing or whatever that, she can use for them to look at that and see where she made mistakes, and she can have them redo them, or even just talking about it. I've had some families that are very limited where we may just have a cell phone, or we may just have, FaceTime or something, with very rare instance where I don't have the whiteboard, I don't have the ability to share my screen. And there are times that I will just write things, or I will do things, and we can just talk through it. If I write a word and I write one word above the line and below the line, I have them talk through each letter of what did I do wrong here? How can I fix it? What should a G look like? How should it look on the line? And that's also been helpful too. With her younger students, she's working on copying pre-writing strokes, and she can do this on the whiteboard, or she even instructs the parents how to do it with highlighters, and copying it, with them hand over hand or by themselves. And circling objects on her screen via screen share. Of course, there's just an infinite number of ways you could work on that. And typically she ends with a virtual game. And this is typically where she works on a lot of her visual activities, because I found that kids really love the visual games or the visual activities on a lot of the resource sites I'm using. Hidden pictures, spot the difference. I've seen a lot of like form constancy activities and things like that the kids have really enjoyed and they really like doing. Or, if the kid's not really there yet, we can do a calm and gross motor game, a little sensory activity, just kind of a wind down at the end of your session. So you guys can read through these. I asked her to give me just some very basic, treatment activities that she's been doing that have been working. So these are the ones that she has done that she has said that they have really worked for me and the kids are really engaged with them, and that she can use over and over. And, it's important to realize that this is just like a typical week for us, where I have been doing what I typically do in the schools. Like if I have a bank of like 3 or 4 treatment activities that I can grade for my whole caseload, I'm still doing that for teletherapy as well. At the beginning of the week, I have like a little basket of ideas here, or a little, list of activities that I can do. And I'm kind of mentally planning, how can I grade these for the whole caseload? What can I do if they're not into this, and I can go to this one, the same way we do when we're in brick and mortar schools. So Simon says, go noodle, ABC, yeah, which that's one I've seen that a lot of therapists are using successfully. ABC, yeah. Highlight Kids, I know they have, a lot of visual activities, picture finds, word games, things like that. And of course, always YouTube. For hand aerobics, finger isolation drills, or dancing videos. Okay, so now we're going to bring back Aaron, and he's going to do our boom card visual schedule demonstration. And there will be a PDF on Teams. I've attached it here with how to make boom cards and how to use boom cards. So this is going to be in the presentation, and it will be on Teams as well. Hey, Aaron. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing my presentation. I'm gonna let Aaron share his screen. Aaron, I think you're muted. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can.
Aaron may have to unmute his mic before he shares his screen.
Okay, can you guys? Oh, okay. See, I can't find him on here. Yeah, I don't know why I can't unmute him.
He pretty much has to unmute himself because
Right.
that's sort of a privacy thing. So if Aaron is listening to us, he just needs to wiggle his mouse and unmute himself.
Okay. I wonder if he's having an issue with it, because we just, you know, we connected multiple times today and he was able to do it.
And he spoke earlier.
I know, and he was on here earlier, so I don't know if he's having an issue. Aaron, maybe signing out and signing back in.
He's leaving.
Okay. So while he's waiting to get back in, do you guys have any questions at all for Lisa or Spencer or me while we're waiting for him? Okay, well, I'm going to share until Aaron gets back in here. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the boom card, just the general PDF here. And like I told you guys before, I'm not really fluent in boom cards. I have not used them before this, and I have not used them to make visual schedules. But Aaron has kind of made like a little chart here that you guys can use. Is that him? Okay, here he is. All right, Aaron, are you on here? Huh, this is so weird. So we had this issue with him in a couple other meetings where it's like we connected before, he talked before, and it was like whenever he went back